Abortion. Obviously you've got the majority of women who are pro-abortion, and you've got and it's nothing to do with men, obviously, but this young lady here called Pearl has something to say, and it's really interesting to see her woman's point of view and her logic on explaining the issue. Obviously those who have religious reasons in the Catholic Church and Christian ministries in Islam, obviously I'll go into that in a following video, because they've all, and Judaism, they've all got reasons, religious reasons, why abortion is disproved of in their holy scriptures. But just listen to this.
Number two, my heart goes out to women that have abortions.
Right.
Because they're lied to and manipulated, and it's based...
So again, this is the same thing that we've talked about before. It's always the women didn't know. Plausible deniability lets us get away with, in this case, murder. It's always, they're always going to default to the woman does not know better, because he has more of a blue-pilled mindset. So when men are more blue-pilled, they tend to view women as innocent. They just don't know any better. And they always give women the benefit of the doubt. So these are the guys that have a tendency to marry women with a promiscuous past, because they always give women the benefit of the doubt. And is putting a hit on somebody. So
Does that make sense?
I mean, I guess, but the person also committing the crime, like killing her baby, I feel like should also be held responsible.
And I like that. I like that women are starting to wake up. We don't need more effective policy to reduce abortion would be, I would argue, is getting rid of child support and letting men opt out of fatherhood the way that women are able to opt out of motherhood. Because if you increase the consequences for casual sex, then, and you actually hold women responsible for their decisions, you may see a decrease in the irresponsible behavior. But what conservatives, and this is why I always cards, and then throw our hands up and we can't believe the way that we're acting. Well, of course, when you give women plausible deniability every chance you get, where if we get an abortion, we just didn't know. Like, sometimes I wonder, do you guys go to these pro-choice marches where the women are arguing for abortions? They have the babies there. And you see the pro-life people showing them the videos. They don't care. And it is what it is, you know. I find it offensive. I don't understand why more women aren't offended by this. If you're a woman and you haven't done these things, right, if you've never gotten an abortion, you know that the women that get abortions know what they're doing. You know that most of the time, every woman I know personally that's gotten an abortion was irresponsible. Every single one was dating the guy. Every single one had a family she could have gone back to that totally would have helped her. But the women did not deem that man's genes as worthy of passing on.
So as you can see, from a woman, it's interesting that she was reporting on a politician who was having to be careful with his answers to the girl that was talking to him. But she's very clear that women, they make their own choice based on their moral, how they feel morally. And women are convinced that the child is, it's just a fetus, can be got rid of. This is a comment by, about the United States anti-abortion movement. It says here, it's a movement that opposes reduced abortion, advocates the protection of the fetal life. Advocates support legal prohibition of or restriction on ethical, moral and religious grounds, arguing that human life begins at conception and that the human zygote or embryo or fetus is a person and therefore has a right to life. Just imagine if your mother had thought, I don't like this, having this baby, I'm going to get rid of it. You wouldn't be here. So it's very interesting. So it's interesting to see that point of view. Of course, women have lots of arguments about why they must have abortions, I was raped, etc., etc. There may be an illness in the fetus, so let's get rid of it. I'm going to consider the religious aspects in the next video, but I just admired the way the arguments are made by that young lady. She's not married yet, but and obviously she hasn't had an abortion, so that's interesting. So take care everybody, and have a good weekend.